I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I think I said, have you ever smuggled drugs through Southeast Asia? And he just like looks to his mate Ross, and he's like, starts laughing and going, have I ever smuggled drugs? And I was like, yeah. And so basically, he'd basically been living in Thailand. Like his parents had died and he'd inherited like a load of money and just like went on a mad one in Thailand. And he was like selling, just dealing drugs out there basically. He got caught.
Fuck.
And as he was a Westerner, they didn't give him the death penalty. He just got life in the Bangkok Hilton in prison in Thailand. So basically, he was like telling me the fucking stories. You're in like a cell with like fit as big as this room with like 50 people, and like, you know, the school. Like, I think most people know the score of like how bad the fucking prisons are and shit.
Yeah. My mum made me watch that movie before I went to Thailand, Bangkok Hilton.
Yeah,
Nicole Kidman and
yeah. So he's got life in there basically. So that, you know, they say to him, "Oh, tell us who you were dealing for and all this kind of shit, and we'll reduce it." And but he's just like, nah, because I'll just get fucking killed. So whatever. So he gets life in prison, and
they mean life out there as well, don't they?
Yeah, and after 6 months, he'd been in there 6 months, and you can kind of bribe the judges. It's very corrupt. Like, so you can bribe the judges for weekend release. So his family back home, I think his brother-in-law was like quite well off. They arranged that basically, and he got let out of the prison. And he said that he was on the minute he got onto the street, some kid pulled up next to him with a scooter, threw him a mobile phone, and drove off. And like the phone rang, and it was the guy.
Hello, Neo.
yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
They're agents.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's like something from a movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's fine. So the phone rings, and it's the guy that he'd been dealing for, basically. And the guy's like, look, considering you didn't grasp me up, I'm going to get you out the country. So he's like, okay. So he's like, go to this place and ask for this person, that kind of thing. And for the next 6 months, he was on the run in Thailand, basically. Like, journeys in boots of cars, getting taken to, like, abandoned houses and just told to stay in a bit. He doesn't speak loads of Thai. Like, just staying in basements with, like, you know, all windows blacked out and shit. And just,
so it's like, quite hard to get out of Thailand then?
Yeah, and he's a wanted fugitive with no passport.
Yeah, because you'd think that, like, with how easy it is to bribe a judge, then you think, oh, maybe once you're out, it's like some countries you just need to then cross a border at land at some point. But he needed help from someone with power in order to get out.
Yeah, but he's absolutely.
So don't grass up people in Thailand.
Yeah.
Try to get day
Don't
release.
grass up anyone that you're dealing for ever.
Ever, yeah.
But so for the next 6 months, he's on the run, just doing all the stereotypical film stuff of being on the run, you know, just like hiding out places. He said at one point he just got took out to like this wasteland, where in the boot of a car, to be passed on to the next person in the chain, you know, of getting him out the country.
Fuck.
And he said he was just like, this is fucking it. You know what I mean? Just out in the middle of nowhere, another car slowly pulling up. He's like, this is where I just get shot.
It's got to be better than being in prison, though.
Well, I'll get to that.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So anyway, the guy, Jay, his name was, who he was dealing for, says to him, right, this is you booked on this flight, here's your fake passport. You're going to go to this, whatever number, fucking till thing in the airport. This guy is going to be on shift. You have to go at this time, blah, blah, blah. He's the only one who's, like, in on it, you know what I mean?
Fuck.
So he says he gets there, but, you know, the whole time he's thinking, fucking hell, like, how is this going to go right or wrong? But I've got to try it.
In Thailand?
Yeah.
Do you know which airport he was at?
In Bangkok.
The Suvarnabhumi, or whatever it's called, the main one that
would be horrifying to have to do such a thing in.
Yeah, because, like, you go to little ones in Cambodia and stuff, you're like, okay. It's all, like, paper stamping and all this stuff, whereas that one... you're going to a place with the most government in order to get out.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, he gets to the checkout thing, and like the guy's like, "Mr. Downey, yeah," and the guy just said to him, "I want to come and live in the UK. You remember me?" And then like waved him on the plane. So,
fuck yeah, I'll remember that guy for the rest of my life.
Well, it's actually, if you type in you can see the link to the news article of when he got arrested. It's on the Pattaya Mail. So the whole story, you can read about what happened to him and stuff. But, so going back to us in Cambodia, so I asked him, have you ever smuggled drugs, blah, blah, blah. And he tells me that story. Roughly around this time, I started like saying to him, well, you can get crystal meth here, you know, it's so easy, like we can get anything, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So he's like, yeah, okay, sound. So we're back to the happy hippie place.
It takes you back there.
Yeah, we went. Well, I went. Oh, I've got to show you this fucking bar. It's crazy. Like you just go in and they're selling anything you want. So we go there and we're like stocking up and shit. And like he basically starts the bender by saying to me, right, you remember that story about how bad prison was and all this kind of shit. Like if I ever had to go back there, I'd kill myself. So as we're real, things are really getting going on this bender. He says, if anything happens to me, like an overdose, do not let them send me back to Thailand.